Back on the MSG 150 at home, presented by Chase, Bill Pito along with Monica McNutt, and it is our pleasure to say hello to Eric LeGrand, former football player at Rutgers. Eric, it is so great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me on today. I truly appreciate it.
Okay, so 10 years ago in October, you were paralyzed playing for Rutgers in a football game. Every year you do a walk that's called a Walk to Believe. You have your annual event coming up on Saturday. Tell us how it's going to go.
Yeah, so we always usually do it at Rutgers, right on Bush campus. It's a 5K run, walk, roll, and we usually have a big celebration about it. Of course, this pandemic would happen on the 10-year anniversary of this, but we wanted to make sure that we still had it, so we're going to do it virtually. And we actually set up a challenge. We wanted to get one participant in every state of the country and also 2 U.S. territories. So I'm happy to say we just completed that today. So you have participation from at least one participant in each state, the 2 USA territories, and we're also went global with it. So it's pretty amazing. We're asking people just to go out and walk a 5K in their neighborhood, local track, local park, wherever you can do, but go out and tag myself or at Team LeGrand or at A Walk to Believe after they do it and just be a part of the movement.
Man, I got to get out there and get the 5K going too, Eric. All right, so I'm curious though, what made you decide to partner up with the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation to form Team LeGrand?
So about 2 years into my injury, so many people were reaching out to me asking how can they help? How can they be a part of my movement and what I believe in? And I was speaking with my mom, and I remember the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation had been reaching out to me from the very beginning about just support and if I ever wanted to start a foundation, to reach out to them. So I remember saying, it's about that time now, Mom, we need to form a foundation. I'm like, what's going on with the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation? Like, who are those people? My mom said, you don't know who Christopher Reeve is? I'm like, am I supposed to know? And she goes, she goes, are you kidding me? The original Superman in the 70s and the 80s? I'm like, Mom, I was born in 1990. I'm sorry, I don't know who Christopher Reeve is. So I remember after I did my research on him, I was like, oh, probably should know that. And then in the fall of 2013, after, reading through their foundation and what they were all about, I said, I want to be a part of that. And I formed Team LeGrand of the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation.
Eric, you have been such an inspiration for all of us. And you recently wrote on the Players Tribune website about the extra challenges that come with having your type of injury in a pandemic. What are the extra challenges in dealing with what you have to deal with given what's going on?
Due to my circumstances with a spinal cord injury, my lung capacity is not the same as an able-bodied person. So when I don't have the muscles to also cough up, different bacteria that, get in your system. So say coronavirus got in my system and, it causes all the inflammation in your chest, that mucus and coughing, I'm not able to clear that by myself. I have to have somebody push up my stomach to clear it. So the more that it just sits in your your digestive system, whatever it is, the more that it has the chance to build up and cause pneumonia, and then, even worse, which is why it's much more fatal to someone with a spinal cord injury that people have no idea about, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. But yeah, that's why I have to watch how many nurses come in my house, who I see. I haven't seen my friends in God knows how long. Got to see a few family members, but these are the tough things that people with spinal cord injuries, we have to, put things ahead now because it could be fatal.
Man, Eric, you are such an inspiration. I mean, it's been 10 years. You just talked very matter-of-factly about the additional risks for you in a pandemic, but you always seem to have a smile and joy about yourself. What have you learned about yourself and the way that you're able to handle adversity?
I would say I've learned patience. When I was 20 years old, when I got hurt, I was living on top of the world. I was doing what I wanted to do, of course, within the means of playing football and stuff, but I was just enjoying life. And then everything was just instant gratification. Like what I wanted to do, I could just go and do it. Now with this injury, I kind of feel like the world is kind of feeling like what it's like to be paralyzed too. You've learned to develop patience. Not everything's going to come to you right away. Sometimes you're going to have to work a little bit harder for stuff. Sometimes you can only control what you can control in certain situations, and you learn to adapt to that because we're all humans. Trained behavior becomes our instinct. So now I'm learning to, be patient. If things don't happen right away for myself, don't worry about it. Don't get down on yourself. Just keep on working, keep on plugging, keep on, grinding, whatever it is, because eventually that light does come at the end of the tunnel. In some instances, it has for me when it was graduating from Rutgers University. I didn't think that light was ever going to come, but it did. Being able to form a foundation, start a broadcasting career, motivational speaking career. Who knew that would have came from me? So it just shows, patience does pay off, and I've been able to take that away out of this whole situation.
Eric, you played for Greg Schiano, and you were there in December when he was rehired. What was that like for you, seeing your former coach come back?
Oh man, that was special to have him back, because it wasn't easy in the beginning to get him back there. We all know that, but to have him back there and see what he's been able to do, and what he's been on the job for now 6 going on 7 months, the recruiting class that he's putting together, the culture that he's building. I think the most important and the thing that needs to stick out here were the players that were reaching out to me after they been in the program now with Coach Schiano for about a month or two, and saying to me, thank you so much for getting Coach back here. The culture is different here. We're excited again, where we feel like we actually matter, we mean something. And when you hear that, coming from the players, I'm like, these kids deserve that. They get their 3, 4, 5, years in college to play. They deserve to feel that, that happiness and that joyful, being able to be worked hard and learn lessons. And I know Coach Schiano, how attention to detail oriented he is. He's going to have those guys work. It's not always going to be easy. It's not always going to be fun. But he's going to take 18-year-old boys and turn them into 21, 22-year-old men.
I love that. All right, so we understand in our depths of research that you are one Broncos fan, Eric. So are you excited that Tom Brady has left the AFC and now you got to deal with Patrick Mahomes? What's the big obstacle for your Broncos?
I'll tell you what, I am happy Tom Brady left the AFC after all these years of battle. I will say, Broncos, we do have a winning record when Tom Brady comes to Mile High. I will have to throw that out there. Tom Brady has a losing record when he comes to Mile High. We have to continue that this year. But Patrick Mahomes, now we got hit with we got to play with a guy 2 times a year now, and then with the Kansas City Chiefs. And I am very, very nervous about Patrick Mahomes. But don't worry, we got Drew Lock back there now. He's gonna be slinging the rock, and we finally drafted a lot of offensive players. And Jerry Jeudy fell to us at 15. I expect a lot from my Denver Broncos this upcoming season.
Well, Eric, I tell you, your attitude is infectious. So is your optimism. Thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck with the walk, A Walk to Believe on Saturday, and the information for that is at the bottom of the screen. Eric, best of health to you, and thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, Eric LeGrand here on the MSG 150 at Home, presented by Chase. Up next, back with Wally and Allen. What's it like to come oh so close? We'll discuss when we come back right after this.